Hello and welcome. This is AwesomeWill here. I was just sliding by and just decided that I'd slide on in and drop you another video. I'm here to just discuss very briefly, something that occurred earlier today. While traveling, I decided that I'd make a stop and go and grab me something to eat. I grabbed me a wrap and grabbed me some smart food, popcorn. I try to manage the things that I consume. It being no more than 2,500 calories, per day. That's all that I try to consume. Today I consumed right at 2,000. It's usually below 2,000 calories. But I try not to consume any contents more than 2,500, total max per day. And I'm looking pretty good. I mean, I've lost quite a bit of weight, and I feel pretty good about it. But however, I paid for my items and I realized that I needed a receipt. So the lady then at the register, which she was very kind and very appreciative of her customer service, she provided me with a receipt. And, there was an older gentleman, one of the elders, he was approaching the counter because I forgot to get some dressing. I had to have some ranch dressing to go on my wraps. You know what I mean? I like the ranch dressing. I like the blue cheese too. But today, specifically, I just decided that, I select the ranch dressing. But however, he was in line. He was in front of me, being that I had left the counter already and realized that I needed another item. But I asked him how he was doing. I said, "How do you do, sir? How you doing, sir?" He said, I'm doing just fine, young man. I'm doing just fine, young man. And I said, "That's great. I'm glad to hear that." And you can see that he was well in his 70s, because he even mentioned it. I didn't ask, but he told me that freely he told me that he was 70 years old. And while he was at the counter, he had some soup. He was purchasing a small, cup of soup, and I said, "What you got there?" He said, "I'm just grabbing me some soup, so grabbing a few things so I don't have to get back out of the truck, you know what I mean?" He said, "I'm 70 years old, He said, "I just like to grab what I need to grab so I won't have to be back and forth into the store." So, I didn't want to be removed or come from my truck once, I make my purchase, you know what I mean? That'll hold me for a while. I'll get a couple of things that I can snack on, it'll hold me, for a while. He is 70 years old, and times has changed, and people prey on the elderly too, you know what I mean? So he's playing it safe as he should. So I asked him, I said, "So sir, or are all those are those all of the items that you desire to purchase at this time?" And he said, "I have a couple of other things, you know what I mean, over there." But I was looking, I didn't see anything. Looks like, some hot dogs or something like that over in that area. Some stuff that he needed to fix or whatever. But he had the soup in his hand or whatever, and he was at the counter paying, you know what I mean? And as he was reaching in his back pocket, I said, "Sir," I said, "no worry." I said, "I'll take care of that for you today." I said, "I'll take care of that." He said, "I have money." I said, "I understand that, sir." And it shows, that you have currency from all that you've taught me, all that you have taught me, and it's the least that I can do, just, showing you some form of gratuity for all that you have done for me, my generation, you know what I mean? And he said, "Oh man," he said, "I sure thank you, I sure thank you, young man." He said, "I'm gonna tell my grandson about this." I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "You have a pleasant day, okay?" And he was like, "I will, I will have a great day." And that was pretty much it. You know what I mean? That was pretty much it. And I try to do things like that, often, or whenever I'm available, or whenever I'm available to do things like that. It's so gratifying to me, and sometimes, I must admit, I can get carried away sometimes, you know what I'm saying? You can't save the world, although sometimes you feel like, you can whatever you can do whatever you want to do to help people, but it's just not that kind of situation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, although I would like to help everybody, I just can't do it all the time. But I'm a very giving person. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, it's just natural. It's like automatic. I mean, people that know me, you know what I mean, on a personal level, I might have not have talked to them in 10, 15, 20 years, 5 years, 2 years, whatever. You know what I mean? If they call me or if they reach out to me or whatever, I'm not gonna act, different I'm not gonna be shaded towards them or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'll send it over, I'll shoot it over. You know what I'm saying? Give me about an hour. That hour turns into maybe 15, 20 minutes. You know what I mean? And I just shoot it over to them. And I mean, that's just the type of person I am. You know what I mean? That's just the type of person I am. But those of us that's why we always blessed. That's what I'm gonna say. First and foremost, that's why we are always blessed, because there's sometimes that when we need someone, and it's not necessarily that we need someone all the time. It could be for a small task, but even the small things, people won't even give you an extension or extend a helping hand to help you to successfully do what it is you're trying to do or accomplish. You know what I'm saying? That's the hurting thing more than anything. You know what I'm saying? When you give so freely, but when you need somebody, or you need somebody, or you would like somebody to do something for you, there's no room for it. So that's where the frustration comes in. You know what I mean? But naturally, I'm a giving person. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I am. Because I know that God blesses me, like no other. You know what I mean? I know that all my help comes from the Lord. I know that all my help comes from the Most High. You know what I mean? And one thing about it, He will open the floodgates, of whatever it is that you desire. He'll open the floodgates. You know what I'm saying? That's why, especially when it comes to the elders, like I have mad respect for, my elders and the signs. You know what I mean? That's how I was brought up. You know what I mean? I remember times my father would get on me if I got out of line. And it wasn't necessarily being, out of line, just being a kid. You know what I mean? And, you might say, yeah, or yes, not really being mindful of what's going on. And my father would get on me. You don't say no yeah, you don't address no your elder with no yeah. You know what I mean? It's yes sir. Yes sir. And I get right, I fall right in. Yes sir, yes sir. It's no ma'am. It ain't no yeah. You know what I mean? You don't address them in that manner. And I mean, I've been like that ever since. And I mean, it was just an innocent mistake being a kid. But that's the great thing about having the elders, because one thing about it, man, when you want to know better and when you want to do better, they ain't gonna let you fall, man. If you truly desire and you have a thirst for that knowledge, rather it's etiquette, education, whatever, if you really want these things, they'll take out the time and they'll lace you up, man. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm always grateful, and I'll forever be grateful for my elder. So that was all I wanted to share. You know what I mean? That was all I wanted to share. You know what I mean? And hopefully you can find it in your heart, to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Because without them, I know that there would be no me. You know what I mean? There would be no me. You know what I mean? And to have the quality traits that most of us have is a rarity. In today's society. But like I said in last night's video, I'll never forget where I come from. I'll never forget where I come from. No matter how successful I am. No matter where I go in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing, and it just don't stop. You know what I mean? It just don't stop. And my children, they will be trained in the same fashion. You know what I mean? Because that's what's right. That's what's honorable. In the sight of God. In the sight of the Most High. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I won't allow them. And I mean, it can cause great embarrassment as well, being a parent. You know what I mean? If you're there, be active in your child's life so that they can grow, in a way that, because, they have your name. They have your name. You know what I mean? And they're a representation of you. You know what I mean? So when they go out, wherever they go, you know, people compliment them. Oh, they're well mannered. Yeah, because that's what I taught them. Or that's what we taught them. You know what I mean? That's the kind of household they come from. Walking in respect and pride and integrity. Because like I said, if you don't have anything else, you know what I mean? Your last name or your name, you know what I'm saying? Means everything. So, you gotta conduct yourself in a fashion that, it's known. You know what I mean? It's known and it comes easy. So that was pretty much all I wanted to share with you guys. You know what I mean? I hope that you have a pleasant night. Tomorrow night I am going on the Gifted Ones podcast, and we're gonna finish up part 3 for men's aggression towards women. Please be sure to like and share this video. It'll be greatly appreciated. And until the next time, peace. You dig?